Hi guys, there's only a few episodes left in this video series. By now you should start seeing the marks on your past papers go up and get closer to your target mark. How close are you? What do you actually need to improve? If you haven't got close to your target score that you set at the beginning of this series, ask yourself, how come? Have you done practice papers? Have you been reviewing your bulletproof booklet to ensure that you don't repeat the same mistakes? I now want to run through the best way to use the examination report. Now, we all know that the examination report is important, but most students don't truly understand why it's important. Yeah, it contains correct answers for the exam, giving students a guide to how to answer the questions. But it is so much more than that, as it contains general comments, specific definitions, and the statistics. So let's start with the general comments. For 2013 and 2014, the general comments have been identical, but they still are incredibly important. Firstly, it states, students are reminded to confine their answer to the question being asked, as extra and irrelevant information was often included. This highlights that the more you write, the easier it is to include contradictory information that will lead to mark deductions, and we really don't want that. Also, students that set out answers logically were able to gain more marks. There needs to be a clear line of logic with your answers. Therefore, having dot points will ensure you have a coherent structure to the way you answer questions. Students that struggle with biology often write as much as they can, as they treat it like a memory test. And while memorizing is important, we must demonstrate our understanding. Therefore, logical answers are what we all need to aspire to ensure we maximise our marks. It's also extremely useful to take note of the specific definitions within the report itself. So, if VCAR give a specific definition for gene pool, you will write that definition down. Not your teacher's definition, not your textbook's definition, but the definition that VCAR deem correct. This is so important to note, as often students include ambiguous and incorrect definitions. The last thing I want to alert you to are the statistics of the individual questions. For Section A, if you see a question that got less than 50%, then what I would do, I would note that immediately down and attempt to understand why they didn't answer it correctly. There is always a common reason amongst all students for why they don't get it correct. And if you can understand these reasons, you'll ensure that you get that mark on your upcoming exam. What I do? Add this to your bulletproof booklet, as this may be something that VCAR choose to include in this year's exam. This is the same for Section B. If you see a question where less than 30% of individuals attained full marks, this is something that you really want to note. These are the questions that differentiate the 30s from the 40s, and so by understanding conceptually the point of the question, you will find other questions much easier to answer. That's it for me with the examiner's report. Go through them and use them in the above fashion to ensure you extract all the benefit you can from them. They are the golden ticket to your exam success. So what I would do, just make the most of it. Go ahead and download the examiner's reports and use them in the way that I've just described.